Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Gunman. So, another big job on the go here. Yes, we've got 5 doors. It's been a big day, even just getting these things prepped. So I'll go through like the work that I've done on it, and then yeah, we'll get into painting them. So I've been having a bit of fun, but as they say, a work of art is never finished, only abandoned. And I know that this is not art, but I'm looking forward to the abandoned part. Like, I'm kind of just over it, if you know what I mean. So this house has had like 2 or 3 ultra bodgy renovation paint jobs done on it, and they didn't do any prep work on it. So this was the first one I did, of course, with all that morning energy where I'm like, I'm gonna do this right. And then after doing 1.5, I'm like, oh, here's go. They'll run off and go into the house as soon as I turn that spray booth on. But yes, after the morning energy, I'm like, stuff this, man. That is gonna take like 2-3 days. And like, I've got goals. For me, it's actually not so much that I'm disliking this work. It's more that I've got so many other things that I'm excited to do on the house. Like, I've got to, next up, once these are painted, back inside and clean up all the door frames. So what they did, they just brush and rolled paint, dirty, thick ass paint all over the all the edges, and it's this running and it's orange peel. And they brushed and rolled on a gloss paint. So half of the, like, some of them were gloss, some of them were like semi-gloss, so that you can still see the orange peel in it. They looked horrendous, and all the edges like just runs, and the other thing is, like, none of it's actually sticking. Like, to take it back to what's sticking, you have to do that, but then you do run into the, now I think I'm gonna be okay, but you do run into the risk of these bits sort of being bare wood potentially sucking in. But I actually have a feeling that that's got some kind of a sealer over it. Maybe when they manufacture the doors, they know that people want to paint them, so they sort of seal the outside. But yeah, even some of these edges, look, I have sort of had to rip into them, and I say had to rip into them because like the runs and the thick edges were so bad that I'm just like, man, look, I'll deal with a bit of furriness on the edges. It's so much better than what we had. And like my mate Alan Jones says, he goes, 90% of the work is in the last 10%, and I agree with that. So the way I sort of work, especially when it's my own things, I just go 80 to 90%, I'm happy with that, move on, next thing, because I've got so many things. Like, if the baseline was better, for starters, I probably wouldn't even bother like doing it. So, you know, it's all a balancing act at the end of the day. But yeah, some of them, what I ended up doing is just buzzing over the top, right? So look, the way I see it, it's not a car, it's not, if you don't give it a reason to delaminate, it won't, you know. So if you get the airline onto it, some of them will start picking up, but it's like that annoying level of adhesion that, like, it sticks enough that it won't just lift up with the air blower, but it doesn't stick enough that you can properly feather it out. So if you look here, so this is one that, like, it sort of half feathers out some points. But again, you know, like that was the only reason that started lifting is because I had to fill up a couple of holes here. And when I was sanding it out, it started lifting. But again, this is on the inside of my door. It's not high traffic. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to be happy with however that looks. I will be happy with it. Same thing happened over here, but what I actually did do, so I took note of which one is the exterior door. So that's the outside of the doors. I've actually got all of the exteriors of the doors facing inward, so I know to sort of focus and do my last coat on the insides. And yeah, there was one door off the entire house that actually had adhesion. But even then, if you like heat it up too much, because it's some kind of an enamel, like it just melts in. Oh, I tell you what, guys, I hate house paint. House paint absolutely sucks. Coming from an automotive guy, automotive paint is so much better. And maybe like the newer sort of house paints are better, but a lot of this is probably that, you know, gross ass 70s, 80s style paint that just, I guess, I don't know, like the technology just wasn't there. But that's about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 coat of wet on wet just to seal it down. And what I've actually got here is at work, like in the past when we do like a 2K job, like a van or something like that, or like a commercial vehicle, I'll use direct gloss 2K and I'll always like be left over with a little bit, and you'll just put it to the side just in case you need touch-ups or whatever. And then eventually I'll just throw it into like a slops white container. Can't really use it on much. Well, you can use it on the doors on your house. So it's basically free paint, right? I'm actually going to add my own hardener. So Spray Guns Direct were kind enough to sponsor us out some materials, and this is Quartz VOC hardener. So it's a nice thick hardener. Now the thinning ratio for that with the thick 320 hardener was it 4-to-1 or 3-to-1? Either way, the way I see it, as long as it's got hardener in it, it's gonna go hard. It's definitely something that you can do. Some people may be a bit funny about it, but the way I see it, like, this is high quality, 2-pack automotive paint I'm getting for free. Like, you're talking $200 a litre. That's probably 2 litres. So you're probably like $400. Like, I don't know, $300 to $400 worth of, color there. So I'm very fortunate to have that. And also another thing that Spray Guns Direct sponsored out a while ago, they gave us some Quartz liquid glass clear coats. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, but I have an idea. You actually can put clear coat over direct gloss 2K. I'm just going to sort of play it by ear, see how they look. If I'm really happy with how they're looking straight off the 2K, I'll probably just leave them. The main thing that you have to keep in mind when you're putting clear coat over direct gloss is you'll get some gloss drop if you go too soon. Because I've done it in the booth and like on cars and stuff like that over the years. And yeah, that's the main issue that you'll come into. So in the past, if I have ever had to put clear coat over, the times that you'll succeed is when you'll leave it for say 20 minutes, even half an hour, and then you put your coat of clear coat over and you'll keep that gloss. There must be something about the solvents in the 2K just pulling the life out of it. So yeah, look, that's just what I'm gonna have to do. 2 litres should be enough, but like on the other panels, like I was churning through the clear. Like I did 2 doors yesterday or last night, and what would it have been? It would have been, yeah, 2 litres on 2 doors. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I might have to 1 coat them, right? So I've got enough wet on wet. I'll get a coat of wet on wet primer down over each one, and then I might just sometimes, like within reason, I sort of make things up as I go. You know, it sounds a little bit unprofessional, but you know, life doesn't have a rule book to it. But yeah, look, another thing that I've done is I've gone and cut like 1, 2, 3, 5 or so filters. So my idea with my little spray booth now, like it's sort of changed from in the past. Where I was at my last place, there was like a lot more people sort of close. I was like, you felt like people were on top of you. There was like townhouses, there's, you know, and close people right close to you. But here I've got a bit more room, bit more freedom. Even I never even see my neighbors, right? I've got nobody over the back, and the next door neighbors never see them. Barely ever see her on that side. So if I ever see her, she's just coming and going, and again, it's very rare. So I'm not too worried about the fumes. I'm more worried about the physical paint droplets, right? So previously I was worried about the fumes because I didn't want, you know, people to be outside and smelling 2-pack fumes. So what I would do there is sort of time when you're doing the painting. So one good thing to remember is, or one good thing to know is, like, water is really good for removing odors, right? So it would be a case of, if it was raining, that would be my opportunity to paint. Of course, you know, you want to paint when you want to paint, so if that sort of coincides with a bit of rain, perfect. Another thing that I would keep in mind is like evening times when people are more likely to be inside, but again, I'm okay doing it today. I'm confident that no one's going to be around to smell it, and again, like, I'm further away from everybody else anyway, so like I say, my current thing is I just want to get the physical paint particles out. So I'm using this set. I just shunted this in the wall. It's actually a pretty cool garage here. Like at some point, they were living in here. The people were actually living in this this garage, and they had like a another little kitchen out the back. So somebody lived in the house, somebody lived out here. So they've like insulated it, which has actually worked out quite well, because now I don't have years and years worth of dust sort of falling from the roof. It's more of a clean sort of, it's got a proper like ceiling on it. So, and I use these beams just to sort of tie the doors up. So of course I could do inside and out at the same time. But yeah, this one just goes straight through. I'll give you a quick look on the other side. So I've got my compressor outside. So a couple of reasons for that. It saves room inside my spray booth, and it also it's breathing fresh, clean air. Like the one thing that I've never, even last time, like the first thing I knew, I was never going to put my compressor inside where I'm painting, because like I don't want it to be breathing in paint fumes. Like that's, and even you got spark hazards, that's another thing. Just OH&S, be a little bit extra careful of that. Like another thing, I'm gonna put my hood on. It is gonna get real in here, guys. Like 5 doors is a lot. Even 2 was pretty extreme, so 5 is gonna be next level. But I just want to get them done rather than doing sort of 2 booth loads. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, like full face visor too. That's another one, like eye protection. This one here I've got is a Moldex from Spray Guns Direct. There's Chocky. I'll just put yours on here for a second. So yeah, this is the Moldex mask. I've got this one from Spray Guns Direct. What was happening at one point was I was getting like a static reaction, and all of the overspray was actually collecting to it, right? So I must have rubbed it, say, with thinners to clean it off. And I found a perfect way to stop the static. I just got water cleaner, sprayed water cleaner on it, microfiber, bang, and instantly it obviously got rid of the static. No more attraction with the overspray. So I'll give you a quick look outside and then we'll get into the painting. So here's Chocky, here's my guard dog. They'll run away inside, like I say, once I start painting. But as I say here, like if you're wondering why I put this here, that's just to stop the rain getting onto it if it starts raining. And this one here, that's just, I just got these little hooks up there so that can stay there. And yeah, so it's straight out, straight through the door. I did put some sealers in there, so I want to make sure it's sealed up there properly. A bit of duct tape, and yeah, some fumes have been getting through, but it's been doing a really good job at catching 95% of the particles. Beautiful, nice day. You never guaranteed nice weather here in Melbourne. It can definitely turn. See you, Chocky. But yeah, that was another thing I wanted to quickly mention is like these shoes, they've turned into like football boots. Because like obviously when you're standing, like the floor's obviously just caked in overspray, and every time you stand on it you collect a little bit of overspray. Like it's wild. I've never experienced it before. Definitely don't get that in my spray booth at work. But yeah, I'm gonna mix some color up and paint some shit. So here we are the next morning. It's about 6:30. I've already been up and I'm sanding the door frames so that I can get these doors back on. But it was a pretty decent mission. Like, I've had bigger missions than this, to be completely honest, but it went better than I expected. So one of the things that I was thinking was maybe I could like break the job up into two just to sort of help with the overspray, but it really wasn't as bad as what I expected. So Spray Guns Direct are going to be sending down some of their new clear. What is it called again? It's flash clear, so I believe it's like an air dry clear. But honestly, like, this liquid glass, this is an air dry clear. Like, if you look at the bit that is, you know, in the pot here, like, that is hard all the way through, like hard as a rock. I know some people do seem to, like, it's not gummy, if you know what I mean. I've heard some people sort of have troubles with liquid glass, but if you're not in a crazy rush for it, and even if you are in a bit of a rush, like I sprayed the front and rear doors on this house, and I needed a door on my house. I had no doors on my house for a couple of nights, and the morning that I sprayed it, 6 hours later, I had the door on the house. I was like, it was dry enough that I could handle it and put the door on the house. So you really shouldn't be having any drying issues with liquid glass. But Spray Guns Direct are going to be sending down some flash clear, which I believe is a new one that they say like it's maybe even faster drying. But yeah, the reason I say that is because like I want to redo the roof on my Corolla. So there's another little review for you. So on the roof on that Corolla, it's got quartz crystal clear, which I originally liked. When I sprayed it on, it felt again like a nice full-bodied high gloss clear. But over time, I realized that it was not very good. Like, it doesn't last in the Aussie sun. It scratches really easy. The irony of that one is it's supposed to be a ceramic clear, but like as soon as you look at it with a even with a microfiber, it'll scratch. So don't particularly like that clear. It's either flash clear or I would happily do liquid glass. Even in my garage, I would happily spray that on the roof, on a black roof on my car. Like, that's how confident I am. And if I need to denib a little bit, so bad. But yeah, wicked setup that I've got, and I'm going to be doing a video on this setup very soon, but I've just been busy doing 100 other things. So I'm gonna go back inside, paint those door frames, and start getting some of these doors on. But yeah, this is the one that I'm particularly happy with. And this is what they would all look like if I was starting with a half decent base, but it is what it is, you know. Like, again, nice and clean, nice. Have a look at that reflection, nice and glassy. But even this one, like the paint that they used was pretty crap. Like the edges here, like it was kind of sticking. It was sticking here, but they get these big paint buildups when they're brushing it on here. And when you try to sand it out, like, it's still wet on the inside. Like, it never dries. Like, it's 20 or 30-year-old paint, but it never dries. I don't know if it's some kind of enamel or some kind of old paint that they don't use anymore, thankfully. Because yeah, the more modern paint does seem to sand down a bit easier. But yeah, Pro Light TE 21.3, 20 PSI the whole way through. Like, it was a champ. It did really well. Look, I think the 20 PSI kind of works in the garage here. Compressor kept up, no dramas. Yeah, there was another thing that I was thinking I could do if I wanted to, but I don't need to. You could put I've got this like, this thing here. It's like a tunnel, I guess. You can sort of get the fumes going out there if you want to. Yeah, so I've got a bit of cleaning up to do around here. But yeah, another thing that's worth sort of noting with airflow, every time that it turns, it slows it down. So that's why I've got that straight through, and I'm getting the best performance out of that exhaust system. Anyway, this video is getting a little bit long, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy. Yeah, until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.